Uh, Good afternoon, everybody, and just getting on here really quickly to have a look at this what I think we can only call a march of shame in London, a Marxist and black supremacist racist march of shame. I've just heard from people on the ground there. We've got people in the crowd who are watching what's happening, and there's possibly 20,000-30,000 people, many of them Antifa, many of them Black Lives Matter extremists. They've already defaced the statue of Churchill. I'm just going to pull up a feed here from the Daily Telegraph. Just bear with me because I'm just literally doing this on the hoof, so to speak. So give me a few seconds. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see that footage. I'll just get a full screen on that for you. And there we go. That's, I don't know if that's live or if that's pre-recorded, but it's on the Daily Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph live stream. And I've also got other information here on Twitter that basically the demonstrators. Now remember, this is an illegal demonstration. This is a demonstrate. Let's call it what it is: a demonstration of death. A demonstration of death in London, because the reality is the demonstration that's going on at the moment. They won't get the water cannons out. They won't get the water cannons out. Now, if we were doing that, we would be getting battened off the streets. But Sadiq Khan has facilitated this. Miss Dick, the chief constable of the Metropolitan Police, has facilitated this illegal event. Now, I'm not sure if I said this the other day when I did a live stream. Basically, whenever I was thinking about organising a demo, I spoke to the police liaison officer in London that we speak to when we organise demos, because it's the best way to do a demo properly, so that you've got it policed properly and hopefully policed safely. When I was asking the police what would happen to me if I organised a demonstration, they said I would be charged under the Serious Crimes Act. In other words, it would be a serious criminal offence for me to basically organise a demonstration. Now, as far as I know, no patriots have actually gone and counter-demoed this. We had a few spotters in the crowds. Gina Miller's there. That's a surprise. Now, all these people, this is the stinking hypocrisy of this. All these people were calling for Dominic Cummings to be sacked, even to be arrested, because he actually drove his family to a safe place away from these lunatics. What has happened to London? I want to tell you something, friends. London has fallen. London has fallen. And these people are not, I don't believe these people are typical of the black community in London. I really hope they're not. I really do hope they're not. And I'm going to be doing, I think I said it before, I'm going to be doing a live feed on Wednesday at 7:30 with Wally Babatunde, who's a black Christian pastor from Nigeria, who loves the United Kingdom. He's even written books on how great the United Kingdom is. That's the sort of black life that I want in the United Kingdom. Not these British-hating bigots who've been brainwashed by people like Kahindi Andrews, the racist professor of bigotry in Birmingham University. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit vexed today, to say the very least. But what we're witnessing here is a usurping of British power by Marxists and black supremacists. I don't believe I do not believe in my heart, that there is a racist problem in the United Kingdom. There are a very, very small number of white supremacists who, if anybody knows me, I have many beefs with them, and I'm always getting into scrapes with the white supremacists. But what we're seeing here, and that there, I mean, I've seen other footage. That there is a small part of a massive crowd. I don't know if we can see some of the footage in Parliament Square. I'm going to try and pull up this tweet. Who we got there? This is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Here we go. Churchill statue. The Churchill statue has been vandalized. Just going to try and pull this tweet up here, guys. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. Okay, let's have a look at this. We should get it there. Get the audio on it as well. So this is from Twitter earlier on today. This happened today. In front of under the police's nose. Under the police's nose. This is what's happened. I'm just going to play this. Just let me know you can all see that. Okay, good. I'm just going to play this little tweet, this little clip from a tweet. If it manages to load up. Okay, for some reason that's not loading, but let's go back to the live stream in London again. I want to show you this this vandalism that's happened in London. This vandalism of Churchill statue. And of course, we know what today is, don't we? Today is the anniversary of D-Day. And let's just see a little bit of contrast here. Let's see a little bit of contrast between what's happening in London with these lefty scum and the Black Lives Matter protesters. Let's see a little bit of contrast between this that we're seeing here and this. See that, guys? That's what happened on D-Day. And then when we go back to see what's happening in London, what a contrast. What a complete contrast. In London, you've got a demonstration of death. Now, think about this, folks, as you're watching this. I want you to think about this, okay? That mob in London, who, according to people on the ground that I've been talking to, that they had to get police protection. Now, think about this. These are patriotic people in the central London had to get police protection today from this mob, this feral mob. And think about the contrast between them and the people that stormed the beaches of Normandy all those years ago. Just look at that crowd. Look at that in the center of our capital. And I want to appeal again. I'm pretty much stuck in Northern Ireland at the moment for obvious reasons because we're in lockdown. But I want you to think about this. Where are the Patriots? Why aren't the Patriots stopping this demonstration happening? The Patriots should have been out there in force today. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it. The Patriots should have been out there in force, stopping that demonstration of death happening in London. Now, the black, I hate this BAME tag that people put on people of different ethnicities. I think it's appalling. But anyway, we're told by the experts that people of black, Asian, black, Asian and minority ethnic backgrounds are something like 50% more likely to die of COVID-19. These people, the black people in this demonstration today, they're not going to get killed by the police. But I tell you what they are going to do. They're going to spike the infection rate of COVID-19. They're going to take it back, and they're going to infect their grandmothers and their mothers and their grandfathers and their fathers, and they are going to be responsible for the deaths of their own people, and they should hang their heads in shame. That's a march of shame today. And I'm not talking about George Floyd. What happened to George Floyd was absolutely appalling. Everybody knows that. Nobody's disputing that. Was it racist? I would say probably not. The fact that a white man killed a black man doesn't mean it's racist. In exactly the same way, when those two Nigerians murdered Lee Rigby, that wasn't a racially motivated attack. That was a religiously motivated attack because they read the Quran and believed the Quran told them to go and murder that man. Things have got to be called for what they are. But what we're seeing at the moment is racist. What we're seeing when you have black men telling white men to kneel, and what fools those white men are for kneeling in front of black men. I tell you what, I'd never kneel for any black man. I'd never kneel for any yellow man. I'd never kneel for any white man. I'd never kneel for any Asian man. The only one you kneel before is God Almighty. Nobody else. Scandalous. Look at them all. Look at them all. Self-indulgent, Britain-hating racists. That's what you've got right there. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. And nobody's calling it out. The mainstream media are pandering to them. The establishment, our pathetic, weak establishment, are pandering to them. Somebody put in the comments earlier, hi Babs, somebody put in the comments earlier, they should have the water cannon on them. 100% they should have the that is an illegal demonstration in the central London, bringing the capital city of my country to a standstill with their racist, anti-British, Marxist ideology and their demonstration of death. You're right, Leona. Kneeling is only the beginning, because once they've got you knelt, they'll chop your head off. Boy, I'm angry today. Yep, this is completely down to our education system. Do you know, I did a video the other day, and if you didn't see it, get on my channel, watch it. I did a video of a man called Kahindi Andrews. Now, Kahindi Andrews is professor of black studies at Birmingham University. I believe that man is trying to incite a race war. I believe that man is racist. Do you know what he said? He quoted Malcolm X. Malcolm X was a black American terrorist supporting Marxist who eventually signed up to the Nation of Islam. A really nice piece of work. And Kahindi quoted one of Malcolm X's speech where he said it's either the ballot or the bullet. What did Piers Morgan do? What did Piers Morgan do? Did he condemn him? Did he challenge him? Not a peep out of him. Well, there wouldn't be, would there? Because Piers Morgan's son was at one of these demonstrations himself. How Piers has changed his tune. Can you imagine if it was a right-wing demonstration? Can you imagine it? Can you imagine if we organised a demonstration? Can you imagine the bile that Piers Morgan would pour out on us? Think about this, folks. Today is the anniversary. Yes, he's the one who says the English flag is racist, and he says a hell of a lot more. He is a wicked, evil man. And that man is a professor of black studies at Birmingham University. He is indoctrinating some of the most intelligent people in the black community in the United Kingdom. And I want to tell you something. Education matters. And what those kids are being taught when they're very young and impressionable, they will believe. And we see it in every area of the media. We've been watching it in, Coronation Street's been having these storylines about racism. EastEnders has been having these storylines about racism. I want to talk about racism because I'm going to say something today, right? And I don't care whether you agree with me or not. I'm not here to be liked. There is no such thing as race. There's one race. According to the Bible, there's one race. Descendants from Adam. Every single human being on this planet is related. And it's not just what the Bible says, science backs it up as well. The black man is just as much a human as the white man, and the white man is just as much a human as a black man. We have different skin pigmentation. We have slightly different physical traits, but we are all human beings. There is one race. One race, it's the human race. And this whole idea of a black man being a different race to a white man is a human construct, and it creates bigotry and division. And what you're seeing on those streets of London today are people who are reveling in and loving bigotry and division. You're right, Durham Fox, we don't mix. And we don't mix because the Muslims don't want to mix with non-Muslims. And now we're having a situation. When I was growing up as a kid, when I was in the army, and when I was growing up, most of the black lads that I knew were from West Indian origin. They were cracking lads. They were every bit as English as I was. They were proud to be English. They loved the country. They loved the Queen. They loved the Union flag. And I've seen in Belfast this week a little black girl with a Belfast accent saying F the Union Jack on the streets of Belfast. And thankfully, she's been reported for a hate crime. I don't even believe in hate crimes. But what I'm seeing now is, of course, Angie, EastEnders and what have you is left-wing ideology. Absolutely. Yep. The unholy alliance of Islam and the left. And now, to throw it into the mix, they've managed to radicalize a generation of black young people to think that they're the victims. But they're not the victims. Because anybody that lives in the United Kingdom and is in the system, so to speak, in other words, they can get benefits, they can get healthcare. They're not in the black economy. They're not going through slave labor. And the irony of this is the people who are slaves in the UK today have been made slaves by Muslim Albanians, by Turks, by the people smugglers. They're the only slaves in the United Kingdom. If you're a black person and you go to school in the United Kingdom, if you're a black person and you live in the United Kingdom and you've got a national insurance number, you can claim benefits. You can get free healthcare. You can get a good education without having to pay for it. You can get housing without having to pay for it. You don't get that in Sierra Leone. You don't get that in Nigeria. You don't get that in Zimbabwe. No, you just get grinding poverty and death. And that's why they all want to come here. Well, I want to tell you something. I'm getting radicalized by this myself. And it's very, very simple. It's time to close the borders. It's time to turn the boats back. See, next time a little dinghy comes across the English Channel, tow it back out in the middle of the English Channel and let the French rescue it or let it sink. Probably tell I'm a little bit angry today. Well, Churchill's statue has been defaced today, Leona. Churchill's statue has been defaced. And, I heard someone the other day, saying how much more likely it was for a black young person to get stopped by the police in London than it was for a white person. Should we just unpack that? Should we just look at what's been happening among black on black gangs in London? The Somalis have come in. The Congolese have come in. They've been brutalized in their own countries. They've come to the United Kingdom of children, having seen some terrible things in their own countries. And they've started reenacting it on the streets of London with their machetes and their knives, chopping each other, murdering each other. Is it any wonder the police are stopping young black men because they're the ones who are most likely to be committing violent crime against each other? They're doing it to protect the black community. Yep, exactly. Exactly, Peter Edwards. It's what did Martin Luther King Jr. say? It's the contents of a man's character, not the color of his skin, that matter. What this is doing, this is going to incite a race war in the United Kingdom. This that we're seeing here right now is a national scandal. London has fallen. London has fallen. I'm just absolutely disgusted by what I'm seeing. Absolutely disgusted. I'm going to try and pull some more stuff off Twitter here. I want to try and find that bit on Twitter where let's try and find it. Bear with me. Now, I'm going to hopefully I can show you this, guys. Okay, just bear with me for a few seconds. Thanks, Jennifer. That means a lot to me. Really appreciate that. Yes, Frank, our enemy is the government. Is Abracadabra? Is Anthony Joshua there? It doesn't surprise me because Anthony Joshua has been playing footsie with the Muslims of Saudi Arabia for a long time. Where to be found? What about the application for a mosque in Tricado? Cheryl, that is being dealt with. Okay, that's been dealt with by Gavin Bobey. He's on that. Gavin Bobey, in case you don't know, is the mosque buster. So Anthony Joshua's there. I don't know what Anthony Joshua's doing there, but the police, if you can see on that footage now, basically the police have had to surround Churchill's statue, and I'm going to pull something up here. Let's have a look, guys. Next, I want to say something, right? And just give me a thumbs up if you agree with me. Next time we do a demonstration, right? No matter what our little differences, okay? Next time we do a demonstration, or next time these scum are doing a demonstration in London, let's get tens of thousands of patriots out on the streets. We've done it before. We did it in 2017 after the terrorist attacks. This is a bigger threat than the terrorist attacks, folks. The terrorist attacks were awful and they were terrible, but this is a bigger threat. You've got to understand that. This is a bigger threat. Just bear with me. I'm just going to try and pull this tweet up here so you can see this, guys. By the way, thanks everyone for watching. Keep sharing this video. We're going to keep coming back to the feed of what's happening in London. Just let me know you can see that, folks. Look at that. Can you see it? Durham Fox, yes, I was in London in 2017, brother. That was some day, wasn't it? And you know something? There was no vandalism. There was no destruction of property. And the counter demonstration, the left counter demoed us, and not one left-wing person was injured. They were protected by the police, but not one of them was injured. There was nobody vandalizing property. Look at what it says. F the police. All coppers are, you know what. I try not to swear on my live streams. This is London today in the 21st century. Think about it. 1944. 1944. British men were storming the beaches of France to free Europe from Nazis who would have, let's be honest, machine gunned anybody that they disagreed with. Hateful, wicked ideology of fascism. British and American and Canadian soldiers from the Commonwealth were storming the beaches in the Second World War, storming the beach of Normandy. 10,000 killed on the first day. Can you imagine Piers Morgan if he'd have been covering D-Day? Oh my goodness, he'd have had a nervous breakdown. He'd have had a complete nervous breakdown. Can you imagine him? There's 10,000 casualties. What are we going to do? The whole thing's a failure. Thank goodness there wasn't social media or Sky News or GMB in 1944. Friends, our country is in more danger now than it was in the Second World War. I genuinely believe that. There you go, Ron. Your granddad, fair play to him. I'm going to put that on the screen, Ron. Your granddad was one of the very first on the Sword Beach. Let's hope the police are ready for riots. The police aren't ready for riots. I want to tell you something. You've got to understand that if that mob kick off today, the police will get the biggest kicking they've ever had in their lives. They won't be able to handle it. The police can't even handle our demonstrations. I've been at demonstrations in London that have got a little bit boisterous, and I mean just a little bit boisterous, nothing serious, right? And the police have literally come to me begging me, saying, Richard, can you calm the crowd down? Because they know they can't cope with a couple of thousand people. When there's 20,000 people, if they kick off, it's game over. London will fall. That's what people have got to realize. The thin blue line is just that. It is a very, very thin blue line. Well, you know, it's ironic that the police that were bending the knee the other day, the police that were bowing the knee the other day to Antifa and to the racist bigots of Black Lives Matter, those very same police, literally within 10 minutes, were being bottled, stoned, beaten, spat upon by the crowd that they bowed the knee to. And people are calling for justice for George Floyd. Now, as far as I know, George Floyd is going to get justice because the police officer that murdered him, if he did murder him, I mean, that's what it seems happened, the police officer is going to go on trial. And if he's found guilty, he'll be convicted and he'll be sent to prison because there is justice in the United States. You see, I don't believe the United States is a particularly racist country. You see, the thing about this nonsense is every single community has bigotry. Every single community has suspicion of each other. And that's why we must encourage people to love Britain, no matter what racial background they're from, no matter what religious background they're from. We should unite under genuine British values: freedom, equality, democracy, and sovereignty. That's what British values are. That sums up Britishness in a nutshell: freedom, equality, democracy, and sovereignty. Where it doesn't matter what color you are. And I was brought up as a child not to care about the color of somebody's skin, not to care about somebody's religious background. But then when I went to school as a teenager, I found out all about Islam. I found out all about what Islam taught about other cultures and other people. And you see, this is what the great and the good don't understand. They don't understand that there are people in this country who want to destroy this country. You're absolutely right. The left are not patriots. They are traitors. They are, in fact, they're worse than traitors. They're revolutionaries. They're people that want to destroy this country. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, Steve, this is the issue. I'm going to put that on the screen, and I know where you're coming from, Steve. Okay, and I dare say we don't agree on the whole idea of ethno-nationalism. But let me explain why my way of thinking. Maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm a fool, maybe I'm fooling myself. But I happen to have a lot of black friends who are proud to be British, and they're just as British as I am, and they're proud to be English. But what we've got now is a generation who are being brought up. I mean, I've heard this from these black activists. They're encouraging their children. They're encouraging their children when they're brought up to deny that they're even English, to deny their Englishness. Now, if you're born in England, irrespective of your color, you are English. You might not be ethnically the same as English people that were brought up a century ago, but if you're born in England, by default, you're English. If you have a different color skin, that's fine. So I care what you think. I don't care about the color of your skin or your race. I care about what you think. And my idealistic way of seeing things is we need to educate people about what's great about Britain. And the problem is our education system is far left. Even our frigging health services are far left. All that nonsense clapping for the NHS. The NHS is a monstrous organization. Monstrous. I'm not talking about frontline nurses and frontline doctors. I'm talking about the administrators, the unions. It needs reform, but of course it's a sacred cow and it can never be reformed. I mean, that's for a completely for another feed. Yeah, South Africa was the canary in the coal mine. You know, when you look at what's happening in South Africa, you look at the slaughter of white farmers, you look at what's happened in Zimbabwe under Robert Mugabe. That's what these people want. I'm sorry. That's what these people want. Yeah, Steve, I'm getting back to that ethnic English people are taught the same. We don't exist. And that is absolutely wrong. The Englishness that I have always believed in is something to be proud of. And I don't believe it's affected by skin color, because I think if we boil it all down, there's very little difference between us once you get under the skin. But it's about the ideas that make you English, the Christianity, the morality, the wars that we fought, the victories that we've won. And we should be proud of those things. We should not be made to be ashamed. And that's why I will never bow the knee. And I will never apologize for anything that our forefathers did either. Because we weren't living through their times and we weren't walking in their shoes. And I'm not going to apologize for anything that happened in the British Empire. And I'm going to say something. And listen, I'll probably get banned from YouTube for saying this. I think the British Empire was a good thing for the world. I think the British Empire was the greatest influence, apart from Christianity, that was ever pushed upon this planet. It brought civilization where there was savagery. It brought democracy where there was tyranny. It brought law where there was lawlessness. And these people want to take us back. They want to take us back to sub-Saharan Africa in the 1700s. But I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to a place where the Muslim tribes were coming down from the north and slaughtering black people. And where the Muslim tribes are coming down from the north in Africa and taking black people prisoner and selling them to slave ships. See, people don't realize that. People are brainwashed. They don't understand what's gone on in Africa. And I want to say something about Black Lives Matter. I want to say something about Black Lives Matter. You don't hear Black Lives Matter talking about the Nigerian Christians. People like my friend Wally Babatunde, the Sierra Leonean Christians, the Christians in Guinea-Bissau, the Christians right the way through West Africa that are being slaughtered by Muslim Fulani tribesmen who are not ethnically black. They're half Arab, half African. And they're running through West Africa, slaughtering black men in their thousands. Why aren't Black Lives Matter crying into their cornflakes about that? Why aren't they crying about the murder of black men in West Africa? Because they don't care. And because they're in it up to the necks with the communists, and they're in it up to the necks with the Islamists. And if that's the game they want to play, believe you me, it's a zero-sum game. Because all we're going to see is death and destruction. Yeah, keep fighting. We've got to keep fighting. Yeah, exactly. If there's no second spike, we'll know the lockdown was a load of bollocks. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy nut when it comes to COVID-19. I believe that there is genuinely a problem with this China virus, that I believe the Chinese deliberately developed it to poison the West. That's my conspiracy theory on COVID. I believe it's real. These people here, and it does disproportionately affect black people. Of course, some of these nutcases on that demonstration today will probably say it was developed by the West to kill black people. Wouldn't surprise me. But the reality is it disproportionately affects black people. And black people will die as a result of that demonstration today. There's no social distancing there. Now, what's going to happen next? That's the question. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen after this demonstration? And wait till you see the fawning media coverage of this racist demonstration, because these people hate everything that is British. Let's not call it racist even. Let's call it a bigoted demonstration, because there are many black police officers who are proud to be British. There are many black soldiers who are proud to be British. But the scum that are organising these demonstrations hate them just as much as they hate me and everybody else that's on our side of the fence, so to speak, when it comes to politics. Protests are another biological attack. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can grab any more feeds here, guys. I'll just leave that one running for you. I'm going to see if I can get anything more that's going on YouTube. There's actually something interesting here. I mean, this just shows you how corrupt the establishment are. I'm just going to play this for you. This is a clip from Sky News from earlier on. And this is basically the establishment in London. This is what they're asking for. The establishment in London. Just bear with me. I'm just going to play this stream for you. So just give me 2 seconds here. Let me get this up. Where is it? Okay. Right. And then I'm going to probably love you and leave you in the next 10 minutes or so. But just bear with me. Let me get this up. Okay. Okay. Sky News report. UK government urges people not to protest due to COVID-19. Just get a look at this, guys. Just let me know you can see it, and then I'll just get it full screen. I'll play the clip for you. Everyone hear that? Okay. Just give me a thumb up. You got that, guys? Yep. Now, guys, I just want to jump in there on this. This guy here, Hancock's half hour. He was telling us that if we went and exercised more than once a day, we were going to get arrested. Now he's pleading with people not to go onto the streets. What authority? What authority do these people have? They have zero authority, and they know it. They know it. The tail is wagging the dog. Please. Okay, guys, somebody just said there's no audio on that. Sorry about that. Let me get that up again. We'll try that again, because I do want you to see this because it's important. Just bear with me 2 seconds. We'll get this up again with audio this time. I do apologize. That was me having a little technical moment. Just give me 2 ticks. There we go. Share audio on this time. Didn't put the audio on. Okay, where are we? Let's go again. See if we can get this up for you. Okay. Okay. Now this guy here is that lefty academic. Just listen to him. I mean, he's got to be about the worst of the worst. But just let me know you can hear this.
Maintain social distancing.
We know that the BAME community.
Can you hear that, guys? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear that. Okay.
Largely because many of them are living
got the audio now?
More deprived areas in Britain, and the demonstrations. The demonstrators.
Give me a thumbs up, guys. Let you know that. Let me know you got the audio.
But please wear masks. Please stay 2 meters apart.
Scotland Yard's commissioner has already said
Thanks, Colette.
she would not expect her officers to start enforcing lockdown laws at the protests. Tensions were already high on Wednesday with sporadic fire.
Okay, so Cressida Dick, or whatever her name is, Miss Dick, has, which is an ironic name for her, but we'll not go into that. Basically, she said she's not going to enforce lockdown rules on these demonstrators. So think about this. We're told that the black community are the most vulnerable people to this disease. That's what we're told. And now we're being told that that the police are not going to enforce the lockdown rules on this demonstration. This is absolutely bonkers. It's Alice in Wonderland stuff. It's absolutely insane. We'll carry on with this piece.
For police this weekend will be about trying to adopt as low-key approach as possible.
Maybe just maintaining the policing presence without
a low-key approach. That's code for cowardice. That's code for a big yellow streak down the back of our little dancing, mask-wearing, knee-bending Metropolitan Police Force. Of course, unless it's a right-wing demonstration, and then they'll get in and smash you with batons like they've done with us on many occasions. But anyway, let's hear what this gentleman has to say.
Over interacting with the people turning up, asking them what they're doing. The difficulty then is just managing what happens from there. It's almost like reacting to some fast-moving and maybe spontaneous incidents.
What do we want? What do we want? Despite the anger and the understandable.
She wants justice. That girl chanting there wants justice. Was she out chanting when Lee Rigby got beheaded on the streets of London? Was she? Was she chanting? Was she chanting when psychopathic Islamist terrorists ran through Borough Market chopping people with machetes? Was she out then? Was she out then? I didn't see her. But she wants justice now. Who does she want justice for? Who does she want justice for? Oh my goodness.
Desire to protest. Health professionals warn that the coronavirus remains a significant threat, that it won't just be their lives protesters are risking, but many within the wider community. Mark White, Sky News. In Hyde Park this week, organisers of the...
So, there we have it. I'm going to play one more clip before I go. Knee-bending, rainbow-wearing, skateboarding cops. Luton Lion, you have absolutely summed that up. Knee-bending, rainbow-wearing, skateboarding cops. Yeah, Emily Jones. Exactly, Babs. What about Emily Jones? What about Chris Donald? What about Lee Rigby? What about Becky Watson? Can't remember the wee girl's name. What about the wee girl in Blackpool who was allegedly put into a kebab and fed to customers? Yeah, Gary B, I'm getting fed up with the race card as well. I'm absolutely sickened by it. I'm disgusted by it. I have never given a toss. And like I say, I've got a lot of stick from ethno-nationalists on this. And I don't care what colour you are. I care what you believe and what you believe in. And the race card, Charlene Downs, but thanks, Bab. Charlene Downs from Blackpool. I want to play you something here, guys. Okay, I want to play you a little clip that I was sent, and I put it up on YouTube. And so it's not just, this isn't just happening in isn't just happening in whatchamacallit, in London. This is happening in Belfast as well. I mean, Belfast, the fact that this is happening in Belfast absolutely blows me away. But I'm going to play you this little clip, and I put this up on my channel earlier on. So let me just get it up here. All right. Make sure I've got some audio, because you need the audio on this one. Here we go. Just wait till you hear this, guys.
to the Union Jack! Fuck your Union Jack!
What can you say to that? Did you all get that? Did you all hear that? Did you all hear that? That's what was happening in Belfast whenever you had the demonstration in London last week. F the Union Jack. That was some girl who'd had the privilege of being educated, nurtured, fed and watered in Northern Ireland. Privileged little girl saying F the Union Jack. And I don't think it's because she was an Irish Republican, because not too many black Irish Republicans. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just call the spade a spade. No, it's because she's a bigot, she's a racist, and she hates everything about the United Kingdom. These people are going to try and trigger a race war. And what we need to do, in my opinion, somebody asked earlier on, what do we do? What do we do about this? How do we stop this? And I think it's very simple. I always believe truth overcomes error. And truth is always true, no matter how persuasive the arguments of the liars is. Truth is always true. And what we need to do is we need to be bold enough to tell the truth and to stand up for what we believe in, no matter the cost. And I've done it. And I like to say, I've got abuse and hassle and basically telling the truth for the past 3 years. We've all got to tell the truth. We've all got to tell the truth about what's happening in the United Kingdom. And you see, this isn't just happening in London. This is happening all over the place. Jack Dawkins sent me a video earlier on today of something that's happening in Birmingham. Police cars getting chased down the street by these mobs. This is a big fight. This is a big fight. But we've got to be up for it. Bodicachuda. That's a great name. I love that name, Bodicachuda. Telling the truth is a hate crime. Absolutely. Telling the truth is a hate crime. But we've got to keep telling it, no matter the cost. I mean, my friends that were in London today, men and women, not many of them, but bold as lions, standing there against this baying mob. They had to get protected by the police. They weren't going there to cause trouble. They were going there to protect the war memorial. So what have we seen in the last week? We've seen Downing Street attacked by a mob and no police there to protect it. We've seen the police been attacked by a mob. We've seen police officers shamefully bowing the knee. I'll keep saying this. Bow the knee to no man. I'll never bow the knee. There should be a hashtag, don't bow the knee. We've seen Churchill's statue desecrated. We've seen the war memorial desecrated. I've seen the war memorial desecrated before. Antifa, hundreds of Antifa thugs. And again, there was just a handful of us in London. And hundreds of Antifa thugs desecrating and attacking the war memorial. And we stood our ground. But that's what we're up against. And I want to just encourage everybody that's watching this. John, there aren't enough armies sending anymore, mate. You know, that's the problem. What happens next? Knee bowed, yeah. No, it's not Game of Thrones, is it? It's real life. It's our country. It's our children's future that's been flushed down the toilet. Been flushed down the toilet to scum, to traitors, to racists. And I'm talking about anti-white racists. Because one of the things that I've noticed and has never been called out by the left-wing media, there is a huge amount of anti-white racism. And I would make an appeal to the black people and the Asian people who believe like I believe. Stand up and be counted. I stood up against white supremacism. So I make a challenge to any black person who's a patriot watching this. Stand up. Be a man or a woman. Stand up and be counted, and stand up against the racists in your own community. If you're in the Islamic community, stand up against the Islamists in your community who want to take over the country. And if you're a black person, stand up and stand with us against the black racists who are judging people by the color of their skin. What is happening at the moment with black against white racism is disgusting. It's heinous, and it must be stopped. Well, guys, that's it. I'm done. Let's hope that that London is still standing by the end of today, and this baying mob, immigration without integration is simply an invasion. Absolutely right. I 100% agree with this. I 100% agree with this. Well, Durham Fox, do you know something? Let's call people's bluff. I believe there are good people in all communities. I believe there are bigots in all communities, and I believe all of us are to a certain extent bigoted. That's the other thing. All of us have our own bigotries and own prejudices. That's just a fact of life. And some of them are well-informed prejudices, and some of them are ignorant bigotries. And that's one again for another live stream. But I mean, Saturday afternoon, I can think of a lot better things that I'd rather do. I'd rather just go swimming in the sea every day than do this crap. Because the reality is, if I don't speak out, who's going to speak out? Yes, Stuart, mate, I hope to see you on the street soon. I mean, it's my problem is getting across from Northern Ireland to England. It's always my problem. I'm based in Northern Ireland, as you know, and getting across the water is not cheap, especially when you haven't worked because of lockdown since the end of February. Yeah, something's got to change, because what we're seeing, need merit-based immigration like it was when I came to work in the UK for 2 years in the 90s as a Commonwealth member. Yeah, exactly, Enoch. People should not just be able to, bribe people to get into this country and then sponge off our benefit system for the rest of their lives. I think the whole asylum thing needs to be looked at. I think if people are coming across the channel in dinghies, you get those dinghies seaworthy, you tow them back to the middle of the channel, and you let the French Coast Guard take care of them. Genuinely believe that. But folks, we've got to stand up. We've got to get political. We've got to get vocal, because otherwise there's not going to be a country left for our children. It's going to be a hellhole. What we're seeing today is the future of the United Kingdom. And I tell you something, folks, the future is not looking good. I'll see you all soon. God bless.